Welcome to the Greenery.
Hi, my name is Kirsten Segler from the Greenery, and what we want to do in this segment is talk a little bit about a group of plants that we call outdoor tropicals. Now, these are typically found in equatorial countries, and there they grow year-round. They don't really have a dormant season to them because the day length there is quite uniform. Here in the Okanagan, obviously we have a cold winter compared to down there, so we treat them as an annual. Can be maybe grown indoor as a tropical in the winter, but typically most people will just compost them with their annuals in the fall when it's time to do fall cleanup. Now, the group of plants I'm talking about are mainly canna lilies and elephant ears. And the elephant ears can be grouped into two families, the Colocasias and the Alocasias. And these are some great examples here behind me. We will focus in on the individual varieties here in the next little bit, just to give you some names and pointers about them. So one of the most unique thing about this family of plants, the Colocasias and the canna lilies, is that they can be grown both in water or in a potting mix. So we sell them in small 5.5 inch starting in March already, so people can buy them early, keep them indoors and size them up, and then either put them in their pond, water bowls, or centerpieces in regular planters where you'll have other annuals. So very unique, versatile plant in that regard. These ones here behind us are in a water feature. They do tend to, size up and grow a lot larger when they're directly in the water. So keep that in mind. So what you're seeing behind me is maybe a little bit bigger than what the average person may get just growing in a planter. Right now, believe it or not, it's end of September. So, things maybe would have looked just a bit better a month ago, but still unbelievable show for this time of year. Imagine having this kind of look in your yard end of September. It's just unbelievable, we might be getting some frost tonight, so we decided to do this segment here, and that's one thing they'd be very sensitive to, any kind of frost. These are basically tropicals, so they love the heat in the summer here, and as you can see, it turned out quite nice. First couple of varieties we want to talk about are behind me here. I am going to be cutting some leaves and samples off as we go through this segment. Don't panic, we have to basically bring all this in this week anyways, so we'll be cutting everything back, taking it out of the pond, bringing it into the greenhouse. That's where we'll divide it up, pot it up into some larger pots, and these are some of the ones we sell in March that are sold for a little bit more money in the 10 to 12 inch size bracket, where our typical production is just done in a 5.5 inch square pot. So to start off, I want to talk about a variety of Colocasia called Fontanesii. This is this one behind us. It's got the really dark burgundy stems with the veins going through the leaf, and then the top of the leaf is just more of a dark green look to it. This is probably the largest growing colored leaf variety of Colocasia. There are some just what we call green leaf Colocasias that do get larger, Jack's Giant and Thailand Giant, but for just the more fancy, different colored varieties, this is definitely by far the one that it does get the biggest. So we just were to cut this off here to show you an example of what I'm talking about. Beautiful, beautiful large leaves like that, and with the nice dark veining underneath. And then the best highlight of it all probably is the real nice dark burgundy stems like that. I haven't even mentioned yet, but most of these plants here that are in this feature do tend to like half-day sun, half-day shade. So in this area we've got actually shade cloth over our pergola, giving that perfect filtered light for these type of plants. Now, canna lilies are, again, very versatile. Not only can they go in soil or water, but they can take full sun, and they can be in a half-day sun to a half-day shade. So a little more versatile than the elephant ear. The elephant ear here does tend to do better in no more than a half a day of direct sun if they're in your containers. Example of that beautiful, almost black stem of the Colocasia and Canna Lily variety. Just absolutely gorgeous, real thick and sturdy. They do have a little bit of a flowering habit that comes late in the season, but they're plant grown for their leaf structure in contrast in that regard. But this is the flower that does develop late in the season. So there are some seeds that will form in this pod if the flower does get pollinated. But typically these are grown or divided from root divisions and in the industry done from little tissue culture. The next plant in this grouping behind me is Canna Lily Pretoria. Another variety on the market which basically looks identical is called Tropicanna Gold. Tropicanna Gold and Pretoria. Some years we have one, some years the other, but basically you'll get the same kind of look throughout the season. Again, I'm just going to cut a portion of this off just so you can get an idea of how beautiful the plant is in the way of the leaf structure. Beautiful yellow and green lining on the foliage. It's a beautiful fresh leaf opening up here. When the sun shines through this up high, just a beautiful golden look to them. Really, really nice to have in the yard. Again, like I was saying earlier, canna lilies, typically known as a great centerpiece for planters in full sun. So that's how they're mainly sold on the market, but they can also be used in your water features or in little water gardens and so on. They do well that way also. Do have an excellent flowering habit. This variety here blooms orange. We can just okay, it is late in the season, so things are finishing up here, but this is actually a new fresh pod about to open. But Pretoria does have a nice orange flower to it. So each stalk that comes out of your mother plant will form clusters of flowers. You will get more than one. Like here was this one, and this one is developing here on this side as well. But just gets to a certain height, you'll get 2 to 3 per stalk, and then that is it. Now, you simply can just deadhead this when they're done blooming, cut that off, and then still leave the beautiful foliage throughout the season. These leaves will hold all season long. We haven't really done any cutting back on the cannas here, just the odd smaller leaf, maybe lower leaf that gets tattered, but they really do hold all season long. You know, other than the flowers being deadheaded throughout the months, that's all you'd have to do. The next plant we want to talk about behind me here is Canna Lily Durban. There's also another variety on the market called Tropicanna. These two are very similar. Again, some years we carry Durban, some years we'll have Tropicanna. Again, they both have these beautiful orange stripes. The Pretoria had the yellow stripes. Well, Durban is more of an orangey red kind of stripe to the leaf. Absolutely gorgeous. And it again, like Pretoria and Tropicanna Gold, has an orange flower to it. So there we go. Still some nice buds coming along. And this is what it looks like. Obviously we didn't get around to deadheading, but this portion bloomed quite some time ago and the petals have all fallen off. But that's the part there that will be deadheaded. But here we still are enjoying some color in the you know, beginning of fall, really. The next 3 varieties of plants we're going to talk about are all Calocasias. The first over here is Diamond Head. The second is behind me over there, the lighter colored one. That's Elena. And over here to my right, this variety is called Illustris. Again, I'll show some samples a little closer up for you. Beautiful leaf back here of Diamond Head. A little bit of a textured look to it. Really dark bluey veining nearly occurring here. And a lighter stem than the Fontanesii variety. More of a red look, but still beautiful red ribbing on the back side of the leaf. And this is named after the Diamond Head Mountain in the state of Hawaii. And here is Colocasia Elena, the example behind me of the larger plant. We took a leaf off here just to show you. So this is a chartreuse colored variety and works very well against the darker leaf ones like Diamond Head, and there's another variety called Black Magic. You plant them together, they really complement each other very well. The yellowy green color against the dark black. So fairly ordinary leaf other than the bright color to it. You know, the back is simple, but again, a must-have if you like the contrast between light and dark. And the next variety is Colocasia Illustris. Example behind us here. Took a leaf off from the inner part of the plant. Got some really good contrast and patching occurring on the leaf here. The dark black color and the lighter green, and you can still distinguish the ribbing in there on the leaf as well. Very nice contrast to that. The back is just plain. Next two varieties, one is a Canna Lily and one is a Colocasia. The Canna Lily here to my left, this is called Australia. And behind me here, this is Colocasia Black Magic. So Canna Lily Australia is becoming one of our most popular sellers. It has a very consistent dark color and a nice shine to the leaf. So for this, and fast growing, multiplies well, so you get multiple stalks usually in one season from this variety. Just has a nice glossy burgundy foliage to it, nice fast grower. Height wise, it's easily going to get four feet out of it in any kind of planter situation. So really nice centerpiece for planters. And the color of the flower is a red color. Again, this is the end of the season, so not the greatest example, but hopefully you can see that there. It's classed as a red blooming variety of Canna Lily. So here's a leaf sample of the variety Black Magic, so Colocasia Black Magic. It has a true black leaf. A flat look to it, not as shiny as the variety Diamond Head, but still, if you're interested in black, nothing beats this for a nice large black leaf. This variety isn't quite as vigorous either as some of the others, so you don't tend to get as large of leaves as some of the other ones in this segment. But again, what a nice contrast it makes with the chartreuse. That's where they really pull together. See the black and the chartreuse of the Elena work well together.